Okay, well, we're sitting here today with Ann Adkins Enthoven, class of 1992, and we're just going to probably go in reverse. So you told me once that you are now a CEO of a special corporation. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
My small company. My 4 children, Meg, Luke, Sydney, and Reese, and they are, Meg is 10, Luke is 8, Sydney is 5, and Reese is 3. So that's my little company, and you have to have a lot of good skills to run that company. Definitely. It's a full-time, 24/7 company. So.
Yeah, a lot of project management, scheduling.
Yes.
Probably a lot of skills you had when you were an assistant coach under Tara for 2 years,
Yeah,
right?
there's some of that too. When you're a coach, you're doing a little bit of, it's not like dealing with kids as young as mine, but sometimes it seems like it. But yeah, you use some things from coaching, definitely.
Well, I hadn't realized that you had been for 2 years, and then you were also coach over at Menlo School, Missouri?
I did do that. After I graduated, I worked in the training room at Stanford as a student trainer, and then someone approached me with the JV job at Menlo School, and so I did that for a year, which was really educational because I hadn't really done, high school, even though it was just JV. But I really had a good time. I loved the girls. It was a great group, so it was fun.
So you had 3 years coaching experience. Did you have any aspirations of becoming a head coach, or at what point did you make a decision to go in another direction?
Well, yeah, when I did the Menlo School thing, that was for a year, and then I thought I maybe would go to physical therapy school because that was something I had thought about, when I was in high school and when I was at Stanford, that maybe I wanted to do. And what happened was when I got married, I switched from working the training room at Stanford to a job at Sequoia Hospital as a therapy aide. So I worked with physical therapists and kind of went around with them and helped them. And it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't, it's like, well, I don't know if this is what I really want to do. And about that time, the coaching position at Stanford opened up, and I just was, I really wanted to do it. And I don't know that I had aspirations to be a head coach, but I just liked being involved with it. I love working with the players and the coaches and just kind of being in the atmosphere at Stanford. I don't know if that job would have come up at any other school that I would have been excited about taking it, but Stanford is different.
Yeah.
So I kind of jumped at taking that and interviewed, and it all went well. And I was lucky also to have Angela Taylor, who I played with as the other assistant. So it was and that was really only for 2 years. So it was a great 2 years of coaching, and we had a great group those 2 years that I was there.
Now, was it difficult to come back as a coach when you've been so closer to some of the players, because you had just graduated in the last 2 years? So some of them were actually on your team, weren't they?
I do not think. I think I just missed.
Oh, okay.
I want to think that maybe Bobby Kelsey just had graduated when I came. I really don't think there was anyone that I coached that overlapped. But there were some, it was still within enough time that there was I knew a lot of the players, to like pick up with them and things like that. And I knew who everybody was. So we all knew each other when I came in.
And how was that in terms of suddenly going from being a player,
right,
and you were a terrific leader also as a player and being captain, especially of a championship team. How was that to move from that to being suddenly an assistant coach?
Yeah, I didn't really have issues with it. Angela and I both, when we took those jobs, we were pretty young. We were, I was like 26, and so we were much closer in age to the players, but I think it worked well because they always called me Mama Ann when I played. I think I always seemed way older than I was, but I think it worked well because, you kind of had Tara and Amy who had been there, and in that 1 year we had Marianne because Tara went and coached the Olympic team that first year. And Angela and I were a little closer to the players, so I think we felt like we could be a good sort of go-between between the players and the, Tara and Amy. We could be a little bit more kind of know how they were feeling. And when we talked to them about things or what they feeling down, Tara's getting on them about something, we could go and talk to them and say, hey, look, we know what it's like. We've been there. It's okay. And I felt that they really trusted us in that way. Because I felt like we had I felt like I had great relationships with those players in those years. And we were very successful those years too.
And probably it does have a lot to do when you can say, well, I've been through this.
Yeah.
It's part
Having been Stanford players, you
Right.
can say, I really know what you're going through because, I've been yelled at by Tara before too, and I felt the way you're feeling and not sure and all of that. And, we had totally been down that road with Tara and with Amy and how, and we'd won championships, so we knew what it took also. So I think that part of it too, they had a lot of respect for us because we had done it.
Right.
And so they trusted that we knew what we were talking about.
And on the flip side, how was it to suddenly have Tara and Amy as coaches? And Marion's a little bit separate situation, but how is it all of a sudden that they were always your head coach, and now you're on their staff?
Right.
So how did that feel?
I think at first we felt very much like we were still players in a way because we were still young and it was Tara, it was like, okay. So I think we might have felt at first maybe, a little bit strange, but also that first year Tara was gone a lot and it was Amy and, it's a different sort of relationship and it was, not that it was good or bad, but it was just different when we came in. I think Amy was really great about kind of trying to include us and, what did we think about things, and that was really good. And so it kind of got, I guess you could say, broken in a little. And then when Tara came back, then we had Tara. And, again, at the beginning, I think we still felt like we were players. But as time went on, I think Tara got to feel like, we were coaches, and we felt like it too. So it just took a little time.
Well, I have noticed, and I'm sure a lot of our fans have noticed, that Tara has been really good about bringing former players back, helping them in their get coaching skills, get coaching abilities, and then helping move them on to become head coaches. Right. As you look back on that experience, did you feel you're being groomed for that too?
I think I could have been groomed for it if that's what I wanted, but I think in a way I knew that I wanted to have a family, and it's not that you couldn't have a family and be a basketball coach, but I think it's easier if you were like the head coach and you start having babies. It's a little easier to bring them along, and I think Tara would have been great if I said I wanted to try to stay, but for me, I just wanted to be around when my kids were little, and that was important to me, and so and I didn't have an aspiration to really be a head coach at a Division I school. It didn't drive me to do that. So I was very happy in my role there, and when I got pregnant with Meg, I knew that I was going to leave. And I think I'd sort of talked to Tara and Amy about it. I think they knew. But I did. I worked really hard when I was doing the job, but I just didn't have the interest at going to that next level. I know it's incredibly amazing what Tara's done, and Amy. It's a very demanding job, and it takes. It's 24/7 when you're in season, and I just, I wasn't ready to do that.
Right.